Hey, this morning, everybody, we got a special guest on the phone. He's a good friend of ours, and he's joining us again this morning to help us with our New Year's resolutions. Boy, don't we make those. He's a well-known cardiac surgeon. He's a best-selling author, but he's got a really, really great daytime talk show, man. I was a guest on there recently, and boy, did we have a blast, man. And we're going to find out how to stick to our resolutions and be healthier in 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, the owner, proprietor of the Dr. Oz Show, the man himself, Dr. Oz.
How are you, my friend?
Welcome.
I had a blast with you on the show. He had, we've got about 200-some people in the audience at 30 Rockefeller Center. Steve Harvey had them just jumping up and down. It was a comedy routine combined with a church revival.
Yeah.
We had the sermon, we had the songs, we had everything.
Hey, man, we had a good time, man. I got a lot of emails off of that appearance on that show, too, so I really appreciate it. Hey, man, look, a lot of people, Doc, going to make these New Year's resolutions. So many people are going to vow to lose weight or just lead more healthy lifestyles this year. How can we get started in that direction?
Well, a lot of folks don't appreciate how important a New Year's resolution is, and I got to emphasize this. The chance of you succeeding on a New Year's resolution, it goes up about 10 times if you do it right versus someone who doesn't do it at all. So it's worth making the investment, and this is the year for you. I want you to look at yourself right now in the mirror, if you got one near you, and say to yourself, you know what, am I worth it? Can I capture my body this year and realize that if I can control what's happening inside my body, I can change what's happening outside my body. So key issues for your New Year's resolution. First off, you got to be very concrete about it. You got to write it down. I don't want any willy-nilly soft stuff like I'm going to be a better person this year. I'm going to lose
Right.
10 pounds by Steve Harvey's birthday. And the second thing you got to do is be public about it. Because if you tell people in your life that you're doing it, they'll hold you accountable, and they'll also be there to help you.
Yeah.
Unless they're enablers, of course, in which case you can flush them out.
Wow. I like that, writing it down and be definitive about it. You know, like you say, none of that, I'm going to be a better person. What the hell does that mean? It just kills me, man. Hey, man, now let's get specifically about this weight loss. Let's start. Now, we got a lot of ladies. Is there a difference in losing weight between men and women?
There's a big difference because men have a lot more muscle mass, and muscle is like a metabolic furnace, Steve. It burns through calories, it chews them up. So a male can eat something that's not quite right and still get away with it, especially when they're younger. And when a male goes on a diet, he'll lose weight faster because he's got extra muscle. That's a tip, though, to women. A lot of women hit their 40s, and they stop doing any kind of heavy lifting. And I'm not telling you to go to the gym and be a muscle woman. What I am saying is you got to be able to lift your body weight. So even things like yoga, calisthenics, pull-ups, sit-ups, push-ups, these are not just male exercises. Women can do them as well. And when you maintain that muscle mass, you'll be able to stay not just thin, but trim and lean, and you'll look sexy. So, always try to keep that muscle mass on your body, even when you go through menopause. And I know it gets hard because when women stop making estrogen during menopause, they also stop making testosterone. But even with lower testosterone levels, if you focus on it, you can still do it.
Wow. Okay, now for men.
Thanks, Dr.
When it comes to men and losing weight, are there really stuff? We see so much stuff on TV. Cortisone, all this medicine you can take, belly fat, all this here, rubber cream on. Are there medications available for men to help with dieting with belly fat?
There's, without question, things you can do to help yourself. You want to be careful about your thyroid gland. So I would say that for both men and women because it's the number one hormone problem we have. If you're gaining weight and you don't understand why, you have to check your thyroid gland. We have a lot more thyroid gland problems now than ever before, we think, because we've got all kinds of environmental issues happening and a lot of people developing problems with their intestinal system. Any kind of infection or inflammation or irritation in the body can hinder the ability of the thyroid gland to work. Now, that's just at sort of top level, but men have a big issue in America with testosterone. And if you don't have enough testosterone in the body, you can't make the muscle mass I spoke about earlier.
Right.
And without that muscle mass, men will put on weight pretty quickly. Obviously, you'll also be able to figure it out because you'll notice that you're not shaving as much as you used to. Men who have lower testosterone will see that pretty quickly. Women will stop shaving their legs as much if their testosterone is low. And men, very importantly, will lose their libido. They won't feel like being intimate. And that's a big clue that you got a problem with testosterone.
Yeah, Lord. Yeah.
You guys nodding your heads up and down now?
Oh, mine working. Mine working. Oh, man.
That's right. hey, but let me ask you something. Testosterone. I've been seeing these commercials on TV. over-the-counter pill that you can take to raise your testosterone. There's testosterone tablets you could take. You go to Vitamin Shop and GNC, you see. Does that work, or do you have to take another route to really get it checked?
The best way to get testosterone, I feel, is through creams. The creams are absorbed through the skin. They get right into the bloodstream. That is the number one most effective tool, I believe. I don't like the pills that much in that category, but there is a pill that does help with testosterone and other hormones as well. It's called DHEA. This is the mother of all hormones. It's the precursor to a lot of the other hormones. And if your levels are low, and I check these routinely if someone feels that they've lost their energy, that they don't have, they get up and go anymore, if that number is low, and listen, don't do this on your own, guys. Hormones are fire, and you don't want to play with fire. They're critically important to how your body works. They affect lots of different systems. So you want to have someone who really does help understand this issue, helping you a little bit. But it can be done, and you need to ask for it. So get your blood levels checked. If your DHEA levels are low, you want to take a pill for that. Very easy to do, very inexpensive. They're available over the counter, but make sure you do it with some guidance. If your testosterone levels are low, again, you can measure that. You want to take the testosterone cream, and if your thyroid levels are low, it's a very safe supplement you can take, again, with the doctor's prescription. And these are not expensive, difficult, or hard therapies to take. It just takes a little nudging from you to get your doctor to check up on these things, because most doctors will not check them on their own.
Yeah. Hey, now, this cream for testosterone, when you say put on a cream, what's the best area to put a cream on?
Well, the inner thighs is usually where we use it. The skin there is a little thinner, so you can absorb it through there. It might remind you about why you're putting on the testosterone cream, because sort of close to the other parts of the body that you want to excite.
Yes.
So one little, on a serious note, cautionary to note, is you don't want kids fooling around with testosterone cream. You don't want to have a child able to touch your skin where you put the testosterone cream on. So if you put it on your arm, then you hold your baby in your arms. Your baby's getting testosterone.
Oh, I see.
And that we've seen that problem with kids developing, hair and stuff, but you don't want that.
Your daughter.
Yeah.
3 years old.
Yeah. What the heck? What the heck?
Wow.
Look,
wow.
girl.
That's
Careful.
important.
Careful.
Hey, Doc, now this Friday, you're going to be doing a show about boosting your metabolism on your show. I tell you what, hey, man, can you hang on so you can tell us about that?
I would love to.
Okay, good. We're going to come back with Dr. Oz. This Friday, he's going to be doing a show on Dr. Oz to talk to you about boosting your metabolism. We're going to come back and find out some of what he's going to be sharing with us, and we're going to all tune in Friday and knock the ratings over the wall.
Yeah, Dr.
We'll be back with our buddy Dr. Oz right after this.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
Yeah, we're back. Our special guest is Dr. Oz, and I was telling you before we went on break that this Friday, Dr. Oz is going to do a show about boosting your metabolism. This is a great way to lose weight. Is that right, Doc?
It is. I tell you, we have Chris Powell coming on the show. He's on the Extreme Makeover Weight Loss Edition, and he has been pushing me about an idea that he has, and I think he's right about this. He said, listen, the reason so many people plateau when they go on diets, the reason so many people have trouble even getting going on their diets is because they trick their hormones to go in the wrong direction. And he says if you go on a really strict diet, your thyroid gland will begin to shut down. And so I got all my doctor buddies. I called up the endocrinologist, and I got my medical unit researching this. And, they all said he's got something there. And we figured out that if you can give a little bit of complex carbohydrate, that's whole grain bread, oatmeal, something like that, to your body when you're on a diet, you actually rev up the thyroid gland we were speaking about earlier. So here's the game plan. I want everyone to think about this as they do their New Year's resolutions if you're trying to lose weight. I want you to be really strict in your diet for a couple days, but at least once a week, and maybe 2 or 3 times a week, I want you to cheat on your diet. I want you to specifically go off the diet for a day. Don't go crazy on it. I want you having, hamburgers and chocolate sundaes. I'm talking about a little bit back towards what a normal food might look like, so you're not so strict. And then by cycling back and forth, you'll actually trick your hormones into helping you lose more weight, because you'll make your body think you got plenty of food, so don't have to hold on to all the calories.
Wow.
Okay.
I
like it.
All right.
That's interesting. Now, okay, let's slow this down. Doc, once again, when you say cheat, what type of cheat are you talking about?
Well, I know the kind of cheating you talk about all the time. We're not talking about that kind of cheating. I'm talking about food cheating, where you realize that your strict diet would normally be, let's say, no white foods, no white sugar, no white flour, no white pasta, no white rice. All those white foods that we know are simple carbohydrates that pack the pounds on you.
Right.
Remember, everybody, eating fat doesn't make you fat. Eating sugar makes you fat. Your body takes the sugar and converts it to fat in your body. So now, remember that. I'm going to say that every once in a while, I want you to cheat and take a little bit of those white foods. Every once in a while, have a pasta dinner. Every once in a while, you can have a little sugar in your tea or your coffee, and that will allow your thyroid gland to rev itself up again. But you don't want to do that every day, or else you just gain weight. So just make a little rule here. Every third day, so 2 days you're on the diet. Every third day, you're going to go ahead and eat foods that were more typical of what Americans eat. And you're not going to eat all this, too much of it. You can eat just enough of it that you feel full. It's because you're eating for the right reasons, right? We all know that the reason people overeat emotionally is that they don't feel that they're worth it. They feel out of control.
Yeah.
And because they don't feel in control, the only thing they do control is the fork at the end of their arm, and they use it. So we want to nudge them back to using, everyone out there who's listening, your forks for the right reasons. But you got to eat a little bit of these sugary foods in order to rev up your metabolism. That's the argument we're making on Friday's show.
Wow. Hey, man, I'm going to tune in for that because that's a new take on this whole thing, because I've always been taught no sugar, no carbs, cut out the white flour, all of
white
this.
bread,
but every now and then, and it sounds like it makes sense, and you're Dr. Oz, so hell.
He knows all.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Oz, I tell you, man, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, and let's do it again real soon, buddy.
I would love to. I got to say, you are such a joy and a blessing. I know everyone knows you by name, but I can tell you, I've done 2 shows with you. We did Access Hollywood first, and then we did my show. And you're a wonderful human being, incredibly insightful, and I love having you as a friend.
Thank you, man. Wow. Same here, brother. Good luck, man. We'll be tuning in on Friday, man. Thanks, Dr. Oz.
Love you all. Take care.
Yeah, man.
You're listening to the Steve Harvey Morning Show.